Marathon racing is one of the very best sports on this planet, and in my mind, nothing even comes close. I've been lucky enough to run nearly 100 marathons, and I'm always tweaking, learning and improving things to make everything as easy and smooth as possible on race day. And that's the theme of today's video. I want to pass on all the marathon knowledge I've learned and acquired over the years so you can go out there and smash your race. Right, let's get stuck in, starting out with pre-race and logistics. Starting out, point number 1 on the list, let's talk about the taper. From 3 weeks out, that first week we're looking around about a 10% reduction in volume. 2 weeks out, a 30 to 35% reduction in volume, and 3 weeks out, around 60 to 70% reduction in volume. Here we're just looking to reduce the overall volume but maintain the intensity that we've had throughout our training. Here we're just trying to freshen up the legs and get everything ready for race day. All good training plans include this, and of course we have them on the website benparks.com, so feel free to check those out, linked down below. The second point here is to get to the expo as early as possible. Get those safety pins sorted as well. Sometimes they're handed out at the expo, sometimes they aren't, so be prepared. The number of times I've been walking around the night before race trying to find safety pins, make sure you've got that sorted. Moving on to sports massages, get these earlier in the week if possible to go through those sore muscles, freshen up those legs for race day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is a perfect time to get a sports massage booked in if that's available to you and get those legs freshened up and ready for race day. Number 4 on the list is to really focus on that sleep on the Thursday night and the Friday night. Saturday night for pretty much everybody is going to be a pretty restless night's sleep with the stress and anxiety of the race. So do everything you can to make sure you get a really good night's sleep on the Thursday and the Friday night. And really try not to stress out too much if you have a bit of a sleepless night. When I've run all my best races, I've really barely slept the day before. Moving on, your last big meal before the race, I really would say get this done in the afternoon before. So if you're racing on the Sunday for a marathon, Saturday afternoon, do this. You don't want to be stressing out your body trying to digest all that food if you're having a late evening meal. And the big easy wins here, rice, pasta and pizza. Plus also remember you can get lots of carbs in through liquids as well. Things like Morton, Precision Fuel and Hydration. Those type of things as well are really good, easy way to get some extra carbs into your body in the couple of days before the race. Next on the list, checking the weather forecast. Don't stress out and do this sort of 2 weeks out, 1 week out, but with 1 to 2 days to go, you want to be checking the weather forecast and see what it's going to be like on the day. As I say, don't stress out about it. Focus on what you can control, and we can control the things we're going to take if it's going to be a little bit hot or if it's going to be a little bit cold. So do you need some sunscreen? Do you need a hat? Well, of course, if you do, you can check out benparks.com and get yourself an amazing running hat, and feel free to use code YouTube10 to get 10% off your order. If it's going to be a particularly cold race, how are you going to keep warm before the race? Are you going to take some throwaway clothes with you to the start line? If it's going to be a hot one, are you going to get some electrolytes in before the race? Or are you going to take some electrolyte gels with you out there on the course? Everybody wants to be out there racing in perfect weather conditions, but of course, perfect doesn't always happen. So make sure you do practice running in some different weather conditions. When you're out there doing your training, if it's raining, go out for a run in the rain and get your session done. If it's hot, just practice what it's going to be like running in those higher temperatures. But of course, stay safe out there, but practice running in bad weather so you're going to be used to it if that does happen on race day. Number 7 on the list is to make a kit checklist and get everything you need in the few days before the race. Please, please, please don't leave this till the morning of the race. I absolutely guarantee you will forget something. I've learned the hard way over the years. We've got a completely free download on the website, which is sort of a checklist. Tick everything off, make sure you've got it all, and then get it in your bag ready to go to the start line. Number 8 on the list is really a golden rule of don't try anything new on race day. So things like breakfast, your socks, your running shoes, your nutrition, your hydration, test everything in advance. Part of our long runs is not just to get fit and strong for the race, it's also to practice with all these other variable things. It's a perfect opportunity to take this time to do these dress rehearsals, practice how you're going to carry everything on the day. If you've got a waistband, vest, shorts, how are you going to carry these gels on you? And then the final one in this section, number 9 on this list, is to trim your toenails before the race. If you have left your toenails a little bit long, they might be bashing on the end of your foot. You don't want to have this happen. during the race, so make sure you trim those toenails a couple of days before the race. Right, moving on to have a chat about the race morning. Number 10 on the list is travel to the start line, and if possible, do a test run in the lead up to the race. That's not always going to be possible, but just make sure you know exactly where you're going to be going on that morning. Arrive at the start line nice and early, not too early, but at least an hour. For marathons, I like to get there between 1 and 2 hours before the race starts for a very stress-free morning, so I can just get some last-minute carbohydrates on board, do my warm-up, and also get in that all-important toilet queue as well. Make sure you definitely bring your own toilet paper with you to the start line as well. You don't want to be getting in that Portaloo or Porta Potty or Porta John, whatever people call these things around the world, and realise that the last person has used that last sheet of toilet paper. A lot of people do need to go to the loo for a number 2 before the start. A lot of stress and anxiety and things, so make sure you bring your own supply. Right, let's have a chat about food and breakfast on the day. What breakfast can you have on race day morning? Practice with that during your training as well. There's no point in having bagels before every run you go on, only to think in the morning of the race, I can't get bagels. I'm in a country where they don't have bagels, I haven't got a toaster, and then you're in a nightmare and you have to try something new. You think that might not work with me. Think forward to what is going to be available to you on race day, and make sure you're practicing with that. What are you going to be able to eat if you're in the car, on the train, on a bus, on a boat? What can you eat out of a little plastic Tupperware box? What can you get down on that race day morning? Moving on, let's have a chat about headphones. Number 12 on the list, check the rules for headphones. You don't want to get disqualified for running with headphones if it is against the rules. And this is happening, and it's happening more and more often as well. Aftershocks, the bone conducting version of aftershocks, are usually fine out there, but as I say, check the rule. The same thing with shoes. No one really in the mass field is going to get disqualified for running in illegal shoes, but your mates might give you some stick. It's one of those things. Are you going to feel happy if you run an amazing time and you've got a pair of illegal shoes on with too much of a higher stack height? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this one. It's a bit of a tricky one, and as stack heights get bigger and bigger, it's coming into play a little bit more. Should the mass field obey the rules just like the elites will do at the front of the field? Yeah, let me know. Be interesting to hear your view on that. Next on the list, drop bag logistics. Double check if the race is offering a drop bag. More and more races now are giving the opportunity to pre-book a drop bag, and it's not included with your main race entry fee. What size bag can you drop off? As I say, some now charge extra for this. I've just had to pay €6 for my Valencia drop bag. It's always been included, and now you've got to pay a little bit extra for that. So make sure if you want to drop a bag off on the day that it's included in the race, or you're going to add it on to your booking. If you are dropping off a bag before the race, then make sure you pack a few things in it. The essentials, things like flip-flops, warm clothes, snacks, and maybe a phone charger. Some of the mobile phone networks do get a bit overrun, especially at the end of the London Marathon. It's really not very good. So make sure you have a backup plan of where you're going to meet your friends and family after the race as well, to join in all those post-race celebrations. Now have a think before the race, what is your anti-chafe strategy? Now of course you should have been practicing this on all of your long runs, but make sure you're thinking about this before the race when you're likely to be sweating a little bit more. Skin on skin contact might be a bit more of an issue. For men, get some plasters on your nipples, some body glide and other areas that are prone to rubbing as well. Get it covered up and make sure that doesn't ruin your race day. And then finally in this section, I really would recommend having an A, B and C goal for your race. A is probably going to be your fastest time-based goal if everything goes absolutely perfectly. C, really just to finish. Get round safely and have a decent race. B is obviously somewhere between the two. Right, once the race starts, let's have a chat about those in-race strategies. Number 16 on the list is all about pacing. Do not go off too fast. It's so easily done. You can get caught up in the excitement of the day, and it will feel easy at the start of the race. It should do. You've got a marathon to go, and many people go through that first 5K really too fast and then blow up and end up walking in at the end of the race. But you watch our video, so you're definitely not going to do that. So stick with your goal pace. What I like to do is stick with that goal pace for that first 20 miles, that first 32K, and then pick it up after then if you can. That last 10K, that last 6 miles is what makes the marathon absolutely magical. Yes, it is a difficult time of the race, but you really don't want to be arriving here having gone off too fast. Now, another pacing option that's becoming increasingly popular is the 10-10-10 strategy. Run the first 10 miles of your race slightly below your goal pace, then the next 10 miles on your goal pace, pace, and then the last 10k of the race slightly ahead of your goal pace. Next on the list, number 17, fueling your race. Fuel the race early and fuel often as well. Most people are going to be fueling their races with some carbohydrate gels. A carbohydrate gel usually around about 25 to 30 grams of carbs, and I would recommend taking this around about every 35 to 45 minutes. The same with the drinking. Drink little and often. Don't wait to feel really hungry. Don't wait to feel thirsty. The golden rule here is to only use what you've practiced with in training. I really would recommend not taking the on-course nutrition unless you're in a real emergency situation or you have actually used that in your training as well. Have a look what the race are giving out, whether they're giving out water in bottles or in cups. If they are giving water out in cups, I just like to sort of pinch it together like that. It just makes getting it down a little bit easier. For a lot of people, just walking a few steps through these water stations just to get that liquid on board will really pay dividends later on the race. Aid stations can be quite congested. Lots of people stopping suddenly. No need to grab the first bottle you see. A lot of these aid stations are really quite long. To keep moving along, it gets a lot less busy a few extra meters down the road. Right, tip number 18 on the list, break the race down into smaller chunks. Just focus on every mile or every kilometer that you're running in and tick off each one. That's how I like to do my pacing throughout the race. Try not to think about how far you've still got to go. It will be a little bit overwhelming. For me, I always like to just focus on the exact kilometer that I'm running in. I work in kilometers, but it works just the same if you're working in miles. And so that's why lap pace is what I have on my watch, and that's the main data field I'm looking at as I run round. Simply trying to tick off each K at my goal pace. This resets every time I watch sort of laps. I have it to auto lap every 1 kilometer. On the screen now is my exact setup, which I use for when I'm out racing. I have the overall average pace, my lap pace, my distance, and my time as well. And I say the main thing I'm focusing on there is that lap pace. Number 19 on the list is all about running with a pacer. Now, this is not going to suit absolutely everybody. A lot of these big races will have official pacing groups out there to get you through the race and just take that stress and anxiety of having to look down at your watch all the time. All you have to do is stick with them, which may be easier said than done, but it's just one less thing to worry about. We're up to tip number 20. Do your course research. Recce the route if it's at all possible. Are there any hills during the course that are going to affect your pacing? Last year I ran Melbourne Marathon. As you come back into the city, heading through the park, there's a big hill to go up. Luckily I'd researched it and I was able to adjust my pacing. It didn't come as a big shock. Will there be any GPS problems out there, and where are they likely to be? For London Marathon, running through Canary Wharf, all the skyscrapers, everyone's GPS goes absolutely haywire. Really realise that your watch is there as a guide. It can really help with our pacing, but just know that your watch is likely to stay a little bit longer than the race actually is. Next up on the list is to really think about your why. Why are you out there doing it? When you get to the back end of the race, around 21 miles, you really want to dig deep. Maybe you're doing a race for charity. Maybe you're doing it in memory of someone else. Everyone's got their why, but when it gets tough, draw on this power to get you through to the end. Right, number 22, smile. Chat to others if you feel comfortable doing this. Everyone will be feeling very much the same at this point of the race. Interact with the crowd around you as well. A positive mindset here will really help so much. Right, number 23 on the list. Visualize yourself crossing that finish line. In all of my training that I do, I'm always visualizing myself crossing the finish line. That last 10K is really hard for everyone. Everything in your body will be telling you to stop, but push through. You're going to cross that line and it feels absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for you to experience that this time and many more times in the future. It's really quite addictive. Number 24, obviously the halfway point in the marathon is 13.1 miles, 21.1K when you reach that half marathon split. But looking back, for most people, the halfway point of the marathon really is about that 18 to 20 miles for the body and probably around about 20 to 21 miles for the head when things really start to get hard. Those last few miles are really tough for sure. I don't want to put you off. It's the marathon. They're magical miles, but that's really what makes the whole race day just absolutely amazing. It's why you trained to get through this section, to not hit the wall, for taking all these tips on board, for fueling yourself properly. As I say, when you cross that finish line, it really will feel amazing. And then once you do, we move on to that post-race recovery. Tip number 25, keep moving once you cross that finishing line. Refuel as soon as you can, rehydrate, get some warm clothes on as well. There'll be lots of medical support around if you do need that, and all the volunteers will be really trying to encourage you to keep moving, and then really keep moving for the next few days. The best thing I recommend for recovery is walking and just getting all those joints and muscles sort of nice and active again. And then finally, number 26 on the list, post-race blues. So many people feel this, especially first-time marathoners. It's a very real thing. Your whole life has been consumed by getting ready for the marathon over months and months, and now it's over. So many runners don't know what to do with themselves. And of course, get out there, connect with some friends and family you probably haven't seen for a while, and maybe take the time to research and enter another race. So many races get entered as soon as people have finished their main marathon goal race. And then my last little one, that little point 2 at the end, that's when all the magic happens. You'll have run a marathon, and just take a moment to step back and realize how amazing you are. What an amazing human being you've got out there. You've done all the training in all sorts of different weathers and got out there and executed it on the day. Be super proud of yourself. You're an amazing person, and I can't wait to hear all of your stories as well. So we love to connect with runners all around the world with how it's been. We've got a couple of extra videos up here which will be perfect to help you with your race day journey as well. So that's it. I'm off to get some more marathon training done, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.